Hello, everyone. I'm Swetha Mannepalli, your host today for Fabric Tech Talk Fridays. Today, I'm coming to you with a customer voice. We have Apollo Hospitals sitting with us talking about their Microsoft Fabric journey with real time intelligence. So, I have Aazath Raj from Apollo Hospitals. Aazath, do you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Swetha. Myself, Aazath Raj. Before I talk about my company, I'll just talk about, what I'm been with Apollo for past 25 years. That says that, how legacy is my company is. I started my career with, and I had multiple verticals handled, and for past 13 plus years, I've been handling data strategy for the organization. So let's go and see.
Okay, before that, Azad, I want to talk a little bit about what Apollo Hospitals does. Because coming from South India, it's a very household name for somebody like me. But for folks who are around the world, what is Apollo Hospitals? What do you guys do? I know it's looking at the name, it's into healthcare, but what is your main KPIs that you drive apart from patient care?
Ah, that's a good question. Apollo Hospital is just not a hospital vertical. It has home care, pharmacy, insurance, and anything to do with healthcare. So we operate from north to south across the country, touching healthcare in some form around 130 billion across the countries.
That's amazing to hear, Azad, because when we look at Microsoft, when we are making products, we're not just making products for the sake of it. It's really changing people's lives in ways that we can't imagine. And this is one of those stories. Now, with that, where did your journey start with Microsoft Fabric?
Before go to that, I'll just give a background about where did we
Absolutely.
started with Microsoft on data.
Wonderful.
Um, in way back 2014, 15, that's the time which we decided that we will go into Microsoft full stack, and then we decided to start with the analytics on-prem, started with the SQL, SSIS, SSRS, and SSAS. That's the time which the Power BI started coming up. The entire organization was not happy with the visualization tool, which was not available that time. Somehow convinced the organization that Power BI is going to be the future, and that's the journey we started. And in 2018, we migrated our on-prem data load from SQL on-prem to Azure SQL warehouse, and then Azure Analysis Services. Then my friends from Microsoft somehow convinced me to push inside Synapse. That's an interesting story. This is a slide which you are in architecture you are looking at. This might look simple, but it's tough for the architect like me to manage. Managing the on-prem network, Azure network, data silos all over the place. Since the era started of AI and ML, data so going and sitting in all the places we were not able to manage. After we go inside the Synapse also, that was the biggest pain point, and that's the time which we started evaluating the entire data architecture, and we decided that we'll go into medallion architecture and started evaluating a couple of products along with Fabric. We evaluated Databricks too, and in 2020, early 2023, we started the journey, and we decided that it has all the stack, and predominantly it is going to kill the data silo. That's the key point which we all decided that we'll go inside Fabric and we'll invest.
Wonderful.
Twice.
So before you get there, I heard a lot of data products. So you started your journey with on-prem, which we all can attest to. We have started our data journey with SQL on-prem at some point. But then we transitioned with the evolution of a lot of technology capabilities. We moved from on-prem to Azure SQL, data warehouse, as well as Synapse. Now, with the advent of Microsoft Fabric, you're seeing this one unified stack that brings all your data silos into one lake, and then that's how you envisioned you're going to eliminate that data silos by not only just switching from product to product but also taking real advantage on moving into those transitions.
It's not, we were not just switching from product to product. The problem, the primary core problem on the healthcare is you need the data in consolidated manner in real time. That's the key point. I mean, unless you have the data in real time, you will not be able to make any informed decisions. That was the key. So we were nothing wrong in any of the product, but the key was, since the healthcare has a legacy data set which has a lot of problem on primary key not having there in the tables and watermark column not having there. That's the biggest problem. That's one of the reason why we came full-fledged into fabric. That mean we have to solve this problem. Unless we from reactive mode to event based proactive mode intervention on data, healthcare is not going to give from all the data whatever we have. When we started the evaluation and the groundwork, we predominantly focusing on bringing the data in lakehouse and warehouse, and RTI is going to be one small work stream where wherever the real time stream is required, we thought of keeping it. But the legacy problem was keep continuing. We were not able to solve. So that's when the event stream connectors for event house has got released, and it has just removed the ETL workload from my team. So just to give a background, I mean, after implementation or while doing an implementation, the team size is just 5. So that's the par, and it is not real time, as you said. I mean, it's not just near real time. It is a real time. It is just 2 seconds. Whatever the transaction happens in my transactional database, it comes to my event house, and the entire flow starts. When activators are enabled, and we have dashboards. Power BI mean the traditional Power BI dashboards, and KPIs are measured there.
Wonderful. So, this is a very interesting slide. If I can take a deeper look into this, what are all the different sources? So, on the far left side, are those all the different data sources that you bring data from?
Yes, I mean, when we explained about, I mean, Apollo Hospitals, I mean, with we operate out of, I mean, 9 data center, virtual data center model to segregate our 75 plus hospitals. So that means, I mean, we have 9 uh, Postgres databases to run our operational databases. I mean, like, I mean, HIS, EMR, all the modern apps, everything runs across 9 Postgres databases.
Wonderful. So, once you bring the data, you're landing all the data into the event house, RTI event house within Fabric.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So, what happens after that?
So the work stream starts for, I mean, RTI, it is on the activator. A couple of use cases. I mean, in healthcare, we predominantly mean one more problem which we were trying to solve for a longer time. The log analytics in any transactional, not just in healthcare. I mean, in all the banking, you wanted the event logs to be captured. So the transactional database, if you are going to keep creating a log table, it's going to bulge, and when it is not going to perform, that's a biggest bottleneck, and that's the mandatory ask from the board. And we started working on the first use case as a log analytics that gives every transaction, anything happening on the data, it gets captured. So that's the first use case. And the next second predominant use case means, since all you all know that, I mean, when the COVID hit, uh, the bed visibility across the organization was the biggest challenge for us. And when in the Synapse world, we were able to achieve only at the max of, I mean, 2 hours cap, we were able to, we built a dashboard which showed the capacity availability for the leadership with the 2 hours lag time. But now it's real time. So it's what it means. It is not just giving a visibility, it gives the ability for the organization to better manage the resources and have a better patient care. So the event based mechanism is driven to optimize the patient discharge, starting from admission to discharge. Everything is connected in this workflow.
This is mind blowing, really, because what we're really trying to unravel here is the impact we're driving with RTI and Microsoft Fabric. So essentially what we are saying is we went above and beyond on just looking at the patient care from a reactive mode, but it is really proactive in terms of bed availability, as you just spoke. So if a patient arrives at the hospital, it really gives a real time dashboard or whatever the visualization aspect that you're using on what are the number of beds available, just to make sure there's no wait time. Is that what we are driving here?
Exactly. It is
Okay.
not only the implementation is not only the example is what I told is for a bed, but it caters for the OPD operations also. So when a patient comes inside for visiting a doctor, until they leave the hospital, everything is tracked, and not just alone the operational view. It touches the clinical operations where a doctor orders. Sometimes when doctor ask you to go and do a test, but you may not do it, you will go away. But keeping this event based mechanism, we chase you. We'll make sure that when you does the investigation that is good for your health on time.
So this is powerful, Azad. I think you're saying it very right lightly, but real-time intelligence is really changing the game for patient care at Apollo hospitals. That's what I'm seeing, and it's absolutely powerful. And I think this has to be modeled across all the hospitals, because we are really impacting patients at a very humane level with real-time intelligence. This is absolutely phenomenal.
That's the biggest dream for most of the data people like me. You have tons and tons of data in healthcare, and unless you make it available real time to make a event based impact on the ground, we are not doing justice. We are just bringing data and creating data estates, and it'll become not a effective way of managing data
Uh,
architecture.
Let me also take you back to our Microsoft's mission. At Microsoft, what we say is we really want to empower every person and every organization to do better. And that's exactly what you're doing with real time intelligence and Microsoft Fabric. So now, where do you see going next?
Yeah.
What is the future for you
That's
at
that's
Apollo
a that's
Hospital?
an interesting question. Okay, after attending the FabCon, before that itself, when we started anomaly detector, that is when I don't know, predominantly most of the people were thinking that when putting an anomaly detector on a event stream or event house is only for the banking or any other process, but this is going to be very very useful for healthcare. The anomaly detector is going not just going to figure out the fraud analytics. It is going to give a anomaly on the patient data pattern that we can intervene. That is something which we are going to do next. The other announcement, I mean, on the keynote, which I heard that when the knowledge graph is going to sit on top of event house. That's going to be the key, and that's what we are going to do next. Building a graph, knowledge graph on the RTI is going to be a real valuable data asset for any organization.
This is amazing work that you're doing, as it, again, not just from a product and a technology perspective that you're taking your company or your organization forward, but you're really impacting patients' lives. And what is the one key takeaway that you want to leave for other customers and other organizations trying to see or wait on leveraging real-time intelligence in Microsoft Fabric?
My recommendation to any healthcare vertical, I have met couple of colleagues from other hospitals. My advice is to start now. Don't hesitate. It is healthcare. It is not something we are going to do analytics or dashboarding. We have to do a intervention on the data. We have to exactly react and proactively intervene on the healthcare patient data.
So, academic medical centers and hospitals, what are you waiting for? There's so many patients' lives at, waiting for you to do and make better for their patient care. So, leverage real-time intelligence in Microsoft Fabric and change the lives. Thank you so much, Aazath Raj, for your time today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for watching. If you found this video valuable, don't forget, hit that like button.
If this is your first time visiting the Microsoft Fabric YouTube channel, be sure to smash that subscribe button.
Drop a comment below on what you'd like to see on future episodes of Fabric Tech Talk Fridays.
That's it for today. See you all next Friday for another deep dive into Microsoft Fabric.